I've been living in so much fear. And it's suddenly become much more obvious. And it's been unfolding for years. And I've been trying to figure out what to do with my life again these last weeks. And it's when the frustration feels so strongly and feels so lost and so anxious about what am I doing? Is this the path? Why am I failing again to achieve what I set out to achieve? And why am I not living with the joy I say I want to live with? What's going on? And things have become a lot clearer in the last day. One key piece of that in the last 24 hours has been reading a very short essay series by Daniel Thurston. I continue to get his name wrong. I think his name was Daniel Thurston, whose content I love. He wrote a 6-part essay series about a deep, difficult time he went through and what that unleashed positively for him. And reading that has allowed me to see some deep patterns in myself, which I'm feeling like I can let go of, where fear has led me into choosing again and again things which don't serve me in becoming the best version of myself, in living with the greatest joy, in taking on the challenges in the world that feel deeply meaningful and deeply important. And fear has made my ability to do that so much more difficult. Everything's felt so much more jumbled, and fear of running out of money, which is buried in fear of not being able to provide security for a future family, which means fear of not finding a life partner because they won't want to be with me. I can't prove that I can provide the security they need. And so that leads me to choosing through all these convoluted, unrecognized patterns of thought. And it's so born of insecurity in not being enough. And it's not always there, but it's there. That I noticed that playing a part in my decision making historically. And suddenly everything shifted, and I'm noticing choices coming back, which I've made before, which feel really nice and nourishing of being and nourishing of contemplation and of understanding myself and of understanding the world. Suddenly I'm having visions of being in tea houses in the foothills of the Himalayas. And this is like I have a great luxury still. I've managed to engineer a life where I have still a huge amount of freedom to explore myself and to do what I want in the world. So it's been so frustrating to me that I haven't been able to use that always or consistently to give me the life that actually feels deeply nourishing. At times I have, and there have been moments, it's just on and off, and it feels, when I feel like I've locked it in consistently, I lose it again. And another pattern I have is just jumping geographically. I've been traveling 15 years now. Haven't stayed in the country more than 18 months in that time. I've come back to Taiwan, where I am right now. This is now my 8th time here, and I've spent a total of 6 years here. And this pattern of jumping, and I think others have a pattern of never jumping, and that can be born of fear too. But why do I keep jumping? Because I'm afraid that I won't become how I need to become. But I'm actually already who I need to become. It's not to say that changing environment isn't really potent and powerful, but the rapid jumping, rarely other than COVID, in the last 7 years, I haven't stayed in the country for more than 4 months. There's something that seems a little bit pathological about that. And when I zoom out, I think, no, well, there's a lot of reasoning behind it, and it makes a lot of sense. But also it's so deeply at odds with my desire for community and consistently compounding connections. And it's born of fear. And when I see those fears more clearly, there's fears around, finding a life partner. There's fears around security for myself financially. There's fears around the deeply troubling state of the world. the rapidly advancing technological capabilities, the deeply unstable geopolitical situation, the real threat of growing authoritarianism. All these things play in, and there's fears and fears and fears, and many times not really deeply recognized, because I am often living with a great sense of joy and aliveness, and I'm often recognizing those fears, but recognizing them is just a start. But what I'm seeing in the last day or so is recognizing how they have led to specific choices which don't serve me. And suddenly I'm feeling a freedom to choose something different. So right now, the foothills of the Himalayas are potentially calling, which is kind of wild. Just over a decade ago, I got scammed out of all my money in the foothills of the Himalayas. I'd been living at home with my parents for over a year, and I'd saving money in a job I hated. And I lost all that money in just a couple of days in a very clever, intricate scam. And maybe I'll tell that story if I go back to McLeod Gann. That could be a good place to tell that story from. But I'm noticing suddenly a desire to go back to that place, sip tea, read, contemplate, spend time amongst people who are deeply grounded and intelligent and engaged. And yeah, that's what I'm looking for now. So, trying to start a daily blog up again. My partnership with Brad has come to a close. We decided to go our separate ways, work-wise, realizing we have different visions for what we want to bring to the world, and it's just so hard to find a business partnership. I think it's harder in many ways than a romantic partnership, but we have well wishes for each other and still a great friendship. So I'm happy. And maybe I'll talk about that in more depth in another video. For today, this is me maybe starting a daily blog, maybe not. We'll see what happens. I don't want to put pressure on myself anymore. I'm just like going with the flow. We'll see what happens. I've lost my master filmmaker for now, so all I'm left with is a selfie stick and my phone and a microphone, and a nice little bit of street art. And my contemplations, I could have framed this shot better. That's the film without a filmmaker. Who's that lady there? Maybe she's my future. My future is within, as is yours. Presence, compassion, that's what I'm learning ever more deeply. May you find it too. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. I'm Simo Simpson. This is The Road to Connection. See you on the next one.